The bang, which is estimated to be 50 kilograms, was packed in bundles of 5 kilograms each.
One by one, offloading the bang from this oil tanker. It is reported that this has been one of the tactics drug barons use to ship their illegal merchandise into the city. This 50 kilograms of bang had come in from Moyale and was set to be distributed to various dealers, as the suspect stated that the demand for the product was high within the city. What seemed routine for this stew, the driver and conductor took a turn when the police were informed what was happening, and they were arrested along the Thika superhighway as they were veering into Kasarani.
After the other operation that we did in Kidurai, where we caught a lot of bangi worth more than 10 million, today we have also arrested the trafficker who was ferrying another bank with an estimated value of over 8 million. The anti-narcotics team, together with the CID, are conducting the assessment. They will weigh, and the two suspects, that is the driver and the conductor, will be taken to court.
Police are now urging the public to be more vigilant and cooperate with authorities to give more information to curb the illegal drug trade. The youth have also been urged to shun drug use. Helen Aura, NTV.
And Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says schools with poor infrastructure risk being closed down indefinitely due to health and safety concerns. Magoha was speaking in Kibabi Teachers Diploma College in Kendui constituency, Bungoma South, after a week-long training for implementers of the new curriculum. On Thursday, photos of students sitting on bricks went viral on social media. The school, which has been identified as Mangororo Primary School, is located in Jaribuni Ward, Ganze Sub-County. Professor Magoha has expressed concern about the existing dilapidated infrastructure in majority of the primary schools in Kilifi County.
The government has a policy of ensuring that schools reach a certain standard, whether schools are private or public. Those standards must be met. If the schools are public schools, the government will ensure, because it registered them, will ensure that the schools are brought to the standard that we want. If the schools are private, we have given them time to get to the minimum. If they do not get to the minimum by the time that was given before I joined the ministry, then the first thing we are going to do is to ensure that the learners who are in those schools are placed in government institutions. That's the first point. The second point is then we shall ask them we shall suspend their registration and until the time that they have reached the level that we require.
Now, former Independent Policing Oversight Authority Chairperson Njeru Macharia is the new Law Society of Kenya male representative to the Judicial Service Commission. Njeru beat his opponent, Professor Tom Ojenda, by 196 votes to win the seat in a hotly contested race that ended last night. He will now replace Ojenda, who served in the commission until his term ended last year.
Njeru Macharia, who served as the first chairman of the Independent Police Oversight Authority, managed 2,738 votes against his close challenger, Tom Ojenda, who garnered 2,545 votes. The results, which was announced by the IEBC on Thursday night, was the national tally of the vote by more than 4,000 lawyers from across the country. The race had attracted 4 contestants, but one, Gadi Irungu, dropped out at the last minute, citing a lack of regional balance. Njeru said that the win had marked a new dawn in the fight for an independent judiciary.
I'm extremely grateful that we work together towards realizing this win. We will take it with humility. We will wait for the final declaration by IEBC. We have no issue at all with that. In the meantime, I urge all of us that we take it with humility, knowing that we are one profession. We do not want to divide our profession. And more importantly, we want to not only have that declaration of results very soon, but to also get into the business of ensuring that we can get to JSC and do the right thing.
The third candidate in the race, Charles Mongare Ongoto, garnered 123 votes. Njeru's supporters expressed joy in the win, saying it was a sign of good tidings ahead. The vote was, however, marred by a low turnout. Of the 10,186 registered members of the LSK, less than a half cast their votes in the exercise that began at around 8:30 in the morning and ended a few minutes to 6 p.m. The JSC oversees the judiciary and recruits judges, and Njeru will serve as a commissioner for 5 years.
Now to Thika, where a Chinese national was arrested and his paper recycling company, that's Benko Investment, shut down after the Water Resources Authority conducted an impromptu pollution crackdown in Thika town. The company has been discharging effluent into Thika River, posing a health hazard to the residents, domestic animals and the environment.
Drama ensued at Benko Investment Company after the owner Ling Jianhua wrestled with the police officers, apparently keen on stopping the officers from handcuffing him over claims his company is polluting Thika River. His translator, a worker of the company, was also not spared. Officials from Water Resource Authority, led by the chairman Joe Mutambu, made the impromptu visit to the factory premises after complaints by residents who use the water. And true to the residents' word, the factory had indeed been pouring toxic waste into the river. What was once a clean river now has different types of scum floating on it. The water from this river is used by residents, the domestic animals, and also provides water for the trees and plants growing next to it. When Ling Jianhua was asked about the waste, he claimed that the waste was as a result of the heavy downpour. This forced Joe Mutambu and the police officers to walk hand in hand with him behind the company wall, where they found a pipe disposing the waste directly into the river.
Mwenye kampuni akatai anakubali kwamba hapa ni kwake, na sasa tunataka kushukuru maofisa wa serikali kwa kutusaidia kukamata hii ndume. Hana permit ya kutoa maji, ana obstruct maji kutoka kwa mto. Hana barua yoyote ya kutoa maji, hana barua yoyote ya hajafanya sewer system ya kutengeza kuosha ile maji ambayo anatumia. Hana chochote kwa ufupi.
Joe Mutambu says that he is taking a more active approach in regulating environmental laws, and a crackdown going to be enforced all over the country that will result in those found culpable going to jail and others paying hefty fines.
It's no one who is above the law. Anybody discharging waste, direct waste to the river, I'm going to arrest. And I don't seek no permission. The act gives the authority permission to arrest and to charge those people.
The clear indication of waste in the river saw the officials closing down the company and workers ordered to go home until further notice. Helen Wanjohi, NTV.
Well, do you think you can set a factory in China and do the same thing? The Senate Committee on Lands, Mineral and Natural Resources has assured Voi squatters that they will get their land back after decades of eviction by the Voi Sisal Estate Management.
The squatters, led by Mohammed Dudu, condemned government organs in Voi for being used by Voi Sisal Estate Management to intimidate, arrest and torture locals.
This is a matter that we are going to take very seriously, very seriously, mpaka tuone kwamba tumetetea ninyi na mmepata chaba yenu.
Dudu said that for many years, the administration has been colluding with investors to chase residents out of their land, leaving them as squatters.
Naomba muwe na imani na viongozi wenu wa Taita Taveta kwamba tutaweza kupata hii shamba. Naumwa na roho sana kwamba mzaliwa wa Mkamenyi anaweza fungwa na awe haezi lea familia yake ya watoto 4. Anaongea hapa akichanganya ndimi. Pole sana ndugu.
Residents expressed disappointment with how the estate management destroyed their homes and graves. They went ahead to subdivide ancestral land into plots, which were sold between 2 million to 4 million. The Senate, through its chairman, promised to involve the National Lands Commission, Ministry of Lands, survey and political leadership in seeking a lasting solution for historical land injustice. Judith Cherono, NTV.
Also, the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops is urging the Jubilee government to act expeditiously in the war on graft or risk civil unrest. The bishops from different dioceses countrywide are concerned by the government's lack of tangible action in arresting and prosecuting public officers involved in major corruptions and scandals. They're now calling on Catholic faithful from the grassroots level to the national level to commit to fighting graft for their levels or from their level rather than wait for action from the government.
As bishops, in all our past and press releases, we have constantly addressed this cancer of an intrinsic evil. However, apparently, corruption and corrupt people have become immune to all measures and continue to slide the country into the bottomless abyss of hopelessness, poverty, and despair. Efforts to fight it don't seem to bear any fruit. And as usual, politics seem to be hijacking the discussions, finding its way into any meaningful attempt to address this evil.
Transport along the Garissa-Nairobi highway was briefly paralyzed for 4 hours after angry businessmen and residents barricaded the road to protest what they termed as double taxation. Waving placards, the businessmen said since the beginning of the year, revenue clerks have been frequently visiting their business premises and forcing them to pay double or triple the amount. Those who fail to comply, they say, are arrested and taken to court on trumped-up charges. According to the traders, 15 people have in the last 10 days been arraigned and charged.
Kanjo wamenikujia, walinikatia license tarehe 20 mwezi wa pili, shilingi 2,100, wakagangua, wakaenda. Vile walienda, mimi nilikuwa kwa kibanda yangu, nimesikia ati leta license yako madam, nikapatiana license yangu. Kuangalia kupeana license na kaambiwa iko under charge. Nikamuuliza hiyo nini inaitwa hivyo? Akaniambia ati nimeimbia serikali.
Mtu amekatwa 4,100 mara ya kwanza, juzi akarudiwa akalipa 18,000. Ndio hiyo karatasi yake imeandikwa 22,100. Kwa mwaka analipa 22,000, atatoa wapi? Biashara iko wapi Kenya?
Now, a suspect criminal was gunned down in Maseno West. Police officers managed to recover a lorry that the gang had hijacked. It was reported that the gang of three had hijacked the lorry which was transporting goods to Kisian at gunpoint along the Kisumu-Busia highway. Kisumu West Sub-County OCPD Edward Kangara said they managed to track down the lorry through the help of members of the public. 2 more suspects managed to escape, but a manhunt is currently ongoing by the authorities to find the suspects. Kangara has urged the youth to shun any form of crime. And elsewhere, the Mijikenda Sacred Forest risks being delisted from local heritage sites if no mitigation measures are taken to save it. The forests, commonly referred to as Kaya, have increasingly come under threat from prospectors, miners and illegal loggers, threatening what has long been the nucleus of the Mijikenda community. Now, the elders from Mijikenda community claim that they cannot protect the forest from encroachment without the help. This is why they want the government to help in the protection and conservation of the forest. They also call on security agencies and the Kenya Forest Service to respond to the plea so that they can salvage their heritage and the prayer sites.
Huwa tunalilia sana serikali kuu na serikali za ugatuzi ziungane na sisi wazee wa makaya kusudi tulinde ile misitu. Pia katika ile misitu ndio inaleta mvua. Hiyo shida ya kukata miti na tukomeshe huu ufisadi wa kuwa mtu anakata miti akishikwa anaachiliwa, ambaye ameshikwa tu bahati mbaya. Sisi huwa hatupendi kitu kama hicho.
Now, the county government of Mombasa has declared war against drugs, which they claim have contributed to rising crime rates in the county. Security agents have now launched an operation to fish out or flush all the suspected drug dealers and users. Mombasa County Commissioner Ivan Sachoki said most of the drug cartels and suppliers are living within the neighborhoods, promising that the police will arrest all, whether big or small fish.
Polisi haswa eneo hili la Kisauni ndio wameongeza utumiaji wa madawa kulevya. Kulingana nini? Wauzaji wote wa madawa kulevya wanatoa pesa ya kiwanja. Tunataka kujua kwa hilo mpango huu mtatusaidia namna gani? Maana hilo ndio tatizo sugu sana hapa Kisauni.
Na sasa tutakuwa tukitembea hii mitaa tukishika wale watoto ambao hawaendi shule, kwa sababu hawa ndio wataingia kwa uraibu ya miadarati. Msinyamaze ya kwamba hawa watu waendelee kuuza miadarati katika manyumba zenu na kuharibia watoto wenu na kuharibia vizazi vyenu.
Right, more than 100 delegates from Kenya and around the world have met in Nairobi to discuss Kenya's leadership in digital reading and sustainable development goals. World Reader, the global nonprofit that helps the world read, has held the 2019 Digital Reading Summit under the theme Disruptive Technology. Digital reading is said to have the power to improve education, economic and health outcomes as a 21st century solution for achieving the UN Sustainable Development Goals while offering countries a competitive advantage in an increasingly digital world economy. Since 2010, more than 10 million people across 50 countries have read from the World Reader Digital Library for more than 35,000 local and international ebooks.
We started out with 2 schools and have since increased to 138 schools with digital reading programs. We are working through the Kenya National Library Service to actually reach out to many more schools because they have the network that can get to these schools through their library reading programs.
Way to reach people around the world. So our view is that here in Kenya, we have thousands of people reading on tablets every day and reading on cell phones and mobile phones every day. Kenya can be a leader for the entire continent of Africa to get people reading digitally.
And it's the first Friday of Ramadan, where Muslim faithful congregate in mosques to engage in supplication and seek forgiveness. The holy month of Ramadan began on Monday, and we are now joined by NTV's Zainab Wandati for a live update right here behind me at Jamia Mosque. Zainab, it's the first Friday, but where you are, what's happening?
Well, Mijungu, we are at the Jamia Mosque, the biggest mosque in Kenya, and it's here just in the CBD. And behind me, you can see this is just part of the congregation that has shown up for the first Friday of the prayers. In fact, the bulk of the people are inside the building. This mosque is really big. It can hold thousands of people. So this is the first Friday of the month of Ramadan, but it is the 5th day of Ramadan. And it is a month where Muslims deny themselves food from dawn to dusk. They don't eat anything, they don't drink anything all day. And in this month, we are expected to do good deeds like help the poor, feed the hungry, and we deny ourselves food for the sole purpose of feeding other people. So that's the main point of Ramadan. And although it has been said that fasting has medical benefits such as detoxing your body, there's actually no scientific evidence yet to prove that fasting can actually detox your body. But people do end up losing weight during this month of Ramadan. So hey, maybe that's also a health benefit, you could say, that it helps in losing weight. But during this month also, when you deny yourself food, the goal is to feed someone else who doesn't have that food. So you'll find that at the end of the day during iftar, when you break your fast, some people fill their tables with lots of food, and that actually beats the purpose of fasting. If you've been fasting all day and then you eat like that, like you're having a party, it takes away the benefits of Ramadan. But right now, what you can hear, I think think you can hear some sounds coming out of the mosque. Right now it's the sermon just before the prayer. The prayer itself begins at around 1:30. We are about 10 minutes to prayer time, and this Friday prayer usually lasts about 10, 15, 20 minutes there before people leave. But because it is Ramadan, the mosque is very crowded, unlike other Fridays. So it will take a couple of, sometimes even, it goes even up to 2 hours to clear this mosque after the prayer, especially on the women's side, Mijungu.
Right, Zainab, thanks for elaborating that, denying yourself food to feed others. Thanks, Zainab, very much. I know Zainab is heading for prayers right after this. And let's go across the region now. And the governing African National Congress, that's ANC in South Africa, is expected to win the parliamentary election, but not with a huge margin. It's actually reduced. With almost 76% of district results declared, the ANC has won 57% of the ballot, well ahead of the opposition Democratic Alliance, that's DA, which is on 22%.
South Africans voting in Wednesday's election for a new parliament and 9 provincial legislators expressed anger over the economy and corruption, which may have eroded the ANC appeal. The ANC, which has been in power since 1994, won
About 40 parties contesting for that election, the longest ballot paper in SA history. Time now for sports. Sean Karivelis is joining us now.
Shindana Stars promotion, a grand prize.
Arsenal will meet Chelsea in the final of the UEFA Europa. curtains have come down on a 3-day Coaches to Count On workshop, an initiative between the Football Kenya Federation's partner SportPesa and English second-tier side Hull City. The course targeted by top performers from the basic advanced coaching courses that are conducted by the Federation last year. Out of 50 shortlisted coaches, 10 were selected for the workshop under the tutelage of Hull City youth team coach Richard O'Donnell. The participants were taken through theory and practical coaching sessions, and that took place at the Kenya School of Monetary Studies. The FKF has in the meantime lined up a series of trainings in the coming months, among them a CAF C license course.
Coach wa Hull City wametusaidia sana, maanake wako free na sisi, kitu ya kwanza. Kitu ya pili, wamekubali chochote kile unawauliza. Juu wanasema hakuna swali lote la kijinga.
During the clinic we've covered both theory and practical sessions where we've looked at the technical and tactical aspects of different ages and different opportunities for players to develop.
In tennis, 5 times Madrid champion Rafael Nadal advanced to the quarterfinals of the Madrid Open with a straight sets win over Francis Tiafoe. Nadal put the American away in 2 sets, winning 6-3. Impressed in pre-season testing and were expected to mount